Have you heard that ICE is preparing a 247 data surveillance for whatever you post on your social media handles or whatever you comment on Facebook, YouTube, X, anywhere? Like they want to find out what you're doing and then they'll get you immediately and then deport you. It's kind of tricky. I don't understand. What is this supposed to mean? Watch these videos and I'll be back with the commentary.
ICE is preparing a 24/7 social media surveillance program, and you need to know about it. Come on, let's sit down. I know I was done for tonight, but then, yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. So the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE as we know it, is definitely something I want to be talking about because we're focused on a lot of things that is currently happening, like the government shutdown. Headlines are focused on that and the latest drama out of Washington, D.C. with this circus that everyone is currently watching. But I need you all to pay attention to something else that is far more concerning and that is quietly slipping under the radar. And we all need to know about it. It is about your social media. Come on, sit down. You might want to go in ahead and get you something to drink. That's what I'm getting ready to do. Cheers. Let's get started. So, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is building a 24/7 team to scour TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and other social media platforms that we're all familiar with around the clock using advanced tracking tools, commercial data, and private contractors. Now, according to federal procurement records and reports reviewed by Reuters and The Intercept, this new unit will run out of ICE's intelligence centers in Vermont and California with teams of private analysts assigned to monitor public activity online, including videos, comments, and live streams in real time. Ain't strong enough for this. Now, this isn't a few agents browsing social media, y'all. It's an industrial scale operation. Now, let me tell you, this plan actually calls for at least 30 contractors working in rotating shifts to keep eyes on social media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, they'll use high-end open source intelligence software, the same kind used by national security agencies alongside commercial databases like LexisNexis, Clear to connect posts to people, addresses, and phone numbers. I'm furious. Internal documents show that ICE wants, quote, target leads delivered within 30 minutes of spotting a potential match online. That means if you post a video, live stream, or tag a location near someone ICE is tracking, it could trigger a data flag almost instantly. Now, there's this legal gray zone, so let's talk about it. So ICE defends the project as, quote, public information monitoring, arguing that anything visible online is fair game. But civil liberties experts, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Center for Democracy and Technology, warn that this practice slides dangerously close to mass surveillance. Because that's what it is. So let me tell you why. No warrant is needed for public posts. Algorithms can misidentify faces or flags, especially for Black and brown users. Ordinary citizens, journalists, and activists could be swept up by association, not by action. Yep, and the Government Accountability Office has previously criticized ICE's data contracts for poor oversight and lack of accuracy checks. I need another drink. Let's talk about who's at risk. I need a breather. Now, while ICE says this is about immigration enforcement, the truth is murkier. Because, come on, y'all. Social media and social networks interconnect people. Me, you, everybody. Through likes and tags and comments and shared content, citizens and non-citizens alike could end up in ICE's analytic net. If a user shares or is tagged in a video of a protest, a neighborhood event, or even a family gathering where immigration is mentioned, that clip could appear in the system's data queue. And because this is 24/7, the feedback loop is constant. A digital dragnet operating without pause. And y'all, that's a problem. This push comes amid a broader expansion of government social media monitoring under the Trump administration's return to power. Now, agencies are not only collecting social media identifiers from visa applicants, but also expanding automated surveillance to detect patterns of threat, which critics say can include ordinary speech or activism. Yeah, let that sink in. Even more alarming, Apple recently removed an app called Ice Block. Did y'all hear about that earlier today? Yeah, which actually helped people report ICE raids. After the Justice Department pressures citing security risks, that decision, coupled with ICE's new monitoring push, paints a chilling picture of shrinking digital privacy. Now, why does this matter? Okay, this isn't just about immigration, folks. It's about who gets to watch you. And you should be furious. It's about how they watch you and what they can do with what they see. You following me? I hope so. When surveillance becomes constant, when your TikTok, your live stream, or your Facebook comments can become a federal lead in 30 minutes, the right to speak freely without fear begins to vanish. And the Constitution protects freedom of speech and freedom from unreasonable searches. But when technology races ahead of oversight, those rights actually become paper thin, almost non-existent. If unchecked, this 24/7 monitoring model could spread to other agencies, policing, health, or finance. Under the same logic, quote, it's public, so we can watch it. Yeah. Go ahead. I know you want to. Let's go ahead and take a drink. Here's what I need us to do. Neighbors, you paying attention? Stay aware. Stay informed. And before you post, know that your audience may now include not just your friends and followers, but the federal government itself. Yeah. Listen, for more news and information that you can always use, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living magazine. Go ahead and take another drink. You gonna need it. We'll see you around.
This is urgent information for anyone who posts on social media because ICE is going to begin monitoring you 24/7. Yep, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is creating a special task force to monitor social media posts for immigration targets. Now I say they're just going to start there, but we'll get into it. They're hiring 30 government contractors to work in shifts to monitor what anyone posts on social media to see if, hey, does that person look like they could be an immigrant? And they're also going to be using AI, which, by the way, is notoriously bad at identifying Black and brown folks, people of color. There are academic research studies into this. So anything you post here, live stream here, or on YT, IG, put on Twitter, could be seen by one of these contractors and said, hey, that person looks like somebody we're going after, so we're going to send folks out to that party. Now, civil liberties and civil rights groups are already saying this is a vast overreach and an entry point for the United States government to start a wider electronic surveillance program over the entire American population. And I would agree with them. They're only going to start with immigration targets because we have to remember, what else has this administration said? They said people who are anti-fascist are enemies. They said they're going after the dangerous, radical woke left. So sure, they're going to start with immigration targets, but what about the people associated with them? What about the people actively speaking out for them or against the policies of this administration? This could spread beyond Immigrations and Customs Enforcement and go into other areas of the government. This is something you need to be aware of because it's going to be starting soon. We don't have an exact date, but this is being reported by Reuters.
Well, this is legitimately fucking terrifying. ICE is planning to massively expand its surveillance operation by hiring contractors to monitor your social media, your data, and your life. I'm Eliza Orlins, career public defender for 15 years in Manhattan, and you need to understand what is coming. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has put out plans to station nearly 30 private contractors in their targeting centers in Vermont and California. Their job? Scour Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, even foreign sites for posts, photos, and messages. This isn't just casual browsing. Analysts will be armed with commercial databases. They will be using LexisNexis and Thomson Reuters Clear. They will be pulling property records, phone bills, vehicle registrations, even utility accounts. Then they'll package all of it into dossiers that can be used for deportation raids and arrests. And they'll be under the gun to work fast. Urgent cases must be turned around within 30 minutes, high priority cases in an hour, every other lead by the end of the day. You know what speed means when it comes to these investigations? It means mistakes. And when mistakes mean arrests, families get torn apart. But it goes even deeper than that, because ICE wants to weave in artificial intelligence algorithms to scan for so-called threats, including people showing negative sentiment toward the agency. In plain English, political speech could be treated as a security risk. And remember, every piece of this data, your location trails, your online connections, your photos, your biometrics, feeds into ICE's central hub, Palantir's investigative case management system, a platform already capable of searching hundreds of categories from immigration status to scars, tattoos, and license plate data. Every new contract, Clearview AI for facial recognition, Shadow Dragon for mapping social networks, Babel Street for smartphone location histories, just adds more layers to the file ICE can build on you. ICE says these tools modernize enforcement, but history tells us something different. Surveillance aimed at immigrants or one group never stays limited to that group. Privacy advocates are sounding the alarm because this isn't about raids. This is about political speech, it's about dissent, it's about journalism, it's sweeping up friends, families, and communities into a dragnet whether or not they've done anything wrong. And past experience proves the so-called guardrails don't hold. Local police and ICE have already traded database access to get around restrictions. ICE even reactivated a spyware deal this summer after Trump took office that can allegedly hack into encrypted apps like WhatsApp and Signal. This is how mass surveillance becomes normalized. It starts with immigrants, but it will not end there. I did a whole TED talk on unlawful surveillance, and I strongly encourage you to go look it up. Let me know if you want more videos about what to do, how you can protect yourself, and make sure you're following me for more breakdowns, because everyone needs to know what's happening before it is too late.
We have some major news right now. ICE is ramping up surveillance of your social media accounts. According to Wired, ICE is planning on hiring nearly 30 contractors to literally sift through all your posts, photos, messages, any raw material on social media across platforms to then send to ICE officers to assist with deportations and raids. They're creating this surveillance type state. According to Wired, federal contracting records show that the agency is seeking private vendors to run a multi-year surveillance program out of two of its targeting centers. Their job was to go through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and all other platforms to try to find new leads to conduct ICE enforcement. They literally want someone around the clock, 24/7, looking at your social media accounts in an effort to try to help them conduct their largest mass deportation effort in American history. It's a major story that people need to know about. As always, spread the word. Full update on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free as always, and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come soon.
We'll break and fuck the news. Got some really important information. Hella people were just DMing this to me. ICE wants to build out a 24/7 social media surveillance team. United States immigration authorities are moving to dramatically expand their social media surveillance with plans to hire nearly 30 contractors to shift through posts and photos and messages of raw material to transform into intelligence for deportation raids and arrests. Federal contracting records reviewed by Wired show the agency is seeking private vendors to run a multi-year surveillance program out of its two of its little-known targeting centers. The program envisions stationing nearly 30 private analysts at immigration and custom enforcement facilities in Vermont and Southern California. Their job to scour Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and other platforms, converting posts and profiles into fresh leads for enforcement raids. Listen, a lot of you guys DM me a lot of things, a lot of information. With this article coming out, I would highly say stop doing that. Just stop. Just, if you have something to say to me, comments. Don't message me anything personal. You guys do, and you guys do have moments where I do reach back out. Just stop that right now. We are moving towards full-fledged fascism, everybody. Please do not. Just don't. Okay? And that's the and please pass the word along. I don't give a shit if you like the post. I don't give a shit if you share the post.
Hey, y'all. So you see this? This is from The Wired. Basically what it's saying, and you can go read the article for yourself because it's on The Wired. It's like the second article down. But what it basically says is that ICE has reached out with an RFI, which is a request for information from contractors, that they want to know if these contractors can come up with systems that can get into our platform. So your X, your Facebook, your TikTok, in addition to like your WhatsApp, which, you know, WhatsApp is supposed to be an encrypted platform. No, they're going to try to get into that, which we know a lot of people that are not from America use WhatsApp to communicate with their family. The plan is to get on these apps, hire these contractors that their jobs are 24/7. They have call centers open where people are just scrubbing and looking at your social medias. So say, for instance, you have a group of Latinos, because we know that they go by how you look, not what if you're really illegal or not. They stereotype. So say you got a bunch of Latino people, they're together, they're having fun, you're partying, you know, you're having a good time. They're going to see where you're at and they're going to converge on you, because now they don't have to worry about where do we think people are. They're just going to use your social media to find out where everybody's converging, where people are hanging out, and they're going to raid those places. Okay. And if you think it's a game, remember I told y'all months ago they were going into Chicago. Okay. And then what happened? They're in Chicago, and I did a video last night about how they went into that apartment building looking for Venezuelans, and they had black children outside, handcuffed, naked, kept people outside for hours. Well, now today they're going to schools. They've got streets closed down in Chicago. There's tear gas. There's, which are people saying it's so bad in the streets. They're flying overhead, Black Hawks flying overhead looking for people. So if they're doing that now without having access to your social media, what y'all think is going to happen when they can get on your social media and see where you are and look through and look for people stereotypically with specific names and start monitoring your stuff? Y'all still think this a game? Y'all still think we sitting up here and what's happening is not really happening? Remember Dictator Day 1? Did he tell you and y'all didn't believe it? Y'all didn't believe Project 2025? Y'all didn't believe none of this shit. But look where we're at. Y'all still good? You still think we're a free country? Y'all still think we have decision making when they're taking over our socials? You have no privacy. Nothing is sacred. And who you gonna call? You gonna call the FBI? You gonna call who? The people that work for him? Even the mainstream media is kowtowing to him and doing things that only may show a positive light. Okay, you got them over here talking about Paramount's about to have bias meters and people that are bias watchers and watching to make sure that biases against him aren't being displayed, which no one has biases towards. They just don't like you, ass motherfucker. But this is where we're at. Hope y'all really realize where the fuck we're at and get off your asses and really we start making some noise here, because once they get in your socials, it's done. Wake up.
Breaking news. ICE is now going to have a 24/7 surveillance system to surveil all of our social media accounts. What? Yes, this clearly would be violating the First Amendment right if they were doing this of American citizens. They're not supposed to do it, but supposedly looking for only undocumented immigrants. But you know and I know what's going to happen. This is being designed apparently by Palantir, which is tied to Peter Thiel, who is tied to J.D. Vance and all the far-right Republicans, I'll leave it that way, who want to take over the country and run it as they see fit. Guess what? Palantir also signed a contract last year with an Israeli spyware company, Paragon, and who knows what they're doing. Do you trust them to only use this against undocumented immigrants? I do not. We got Big Brother coming, George Orwell, and this is all under the Trump administration, Project 2025, and where is it going to stop? I see history repeating itself We go back to Germany in the 1930s. What can you say? Loved you for my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned LA bulbs. They're going to be monitoring your TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everybody's accounts. And tell me that'll only be used against undocumented people. Right. I don't believe it a bit, do you? Interesting how many of these ties always go back to Israel. Wonder why.
ICE just bought a new tool that can track your every move. Now with wiretaps. Not with hacking, but with apps you already use every day. And you'll want to hear how this works. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you how the system builds a map of your life, how it can manipulate you, and what you can do right now to fight back. This isn't a conspiracy. ICE purchased software from a company called Pinlink. Tools named Tangles and Weblog. One tracks your social connections, the other plots your real-world movements using location data apps already sell. Put it together, it doesn't just show where you've been, it shows who you're connected to and what you're likely to do now. How does it work? Let's say you walk to the same cafe at 8. Your fitness app logs it, your weather app pings your location, and your banking app records the coffee purchase. Individually, harmless. Combined, phenomenal cosmic power. It's a predictable pattern. Now add your social media metadata, texts you send, and friends you tag, the groups you're in. Suddenly, the system doesn't just know your habits, it knows your network. Here's the dark part. Once your routine is mapped, it's easy to influence you. Because if they know where you commute, they know when you're vulnerable. If they know your mood cycles, they know when to push fear, comfort, or distraction. If they know your community links, they can pressure you through people around you. This isn't observation. This is structural manipulation. You wouldn't even know it was happening. Look at the news. There's a different disaster every day, distraction every day. ICE doesn't need a warning here. It's buy the data. Apps sell it to brokers. Brokers sell it to agencies. Legal on paper, but dangerous in practice. Because it doesn't just scoop up suspects. It scoops up everyone, then waits for a profile match. Think about it. Families visiting the same church, activists meeting at a cafe, and students attending study groups. None of them broke laws, but in this system, the dots on a map, and dots can be targeted. That's not justice. That's pre-crime by proxy. That's why I built these tools like Delete Yourself Checklist and Cybersecurity Survival Kit, because you can't stop apps from asking for data, but you can stop feeding them unnecessary details. Less data, less accuracy in their map of your life. So here's the takeaway. When surveillance meets commercial data, you stop being a citizen and start being a data set. Albert Einstein said it best. If I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity.
This is really tricky. I really don't see this coming, to pass. Yeah, because what are they trying to achieve with this? Are they trying to take away democracy? Like people can no longer express themselves? Is that what they mean? They want to start going into people's privacy? I think this is really, really, really not fair. This is like trampling on people's human rights. How do they even do that? Okay, they said they're going to get people who are doing some blah, blah, blah stuff, and then they're going to deport them. Deport an American to where? Come on, it doesn't even make sense. You're going to get them arrested and then you deport them to where exactly? What do you think about this whole issue? Let me see it in the comments. I saw this news and I'm weak. Like, what the heck is that? It's really crazy, to be honest. Like, everything Kamala Harris said is just what is playing out. Everything Kamala Harris said is just playing out. I want to hear what you say in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share this video, right? And then we'll see you in the comments. Bye.